What's up, guys? Happy Victory Tuesday. I don't know about you guys, but I am just still super excited from that win on Sunday against the Ravens. This one, the Jags have had wins over the course of their franchise history. Not many, but they've had wins. I've experienced all different kinds of wins, whether it be high offensive scoring or defensive struggles, all that stuff. But this win definitely feels a lot different. And the reason is because of number 16, Trevor Lawrence. It feels like, and I personally believe that Trevor Lawrence has officially arrived. He is here. This is the guy that we thought the Jaguars drafted number one overall in 2021. And when we drafted Trevor Lawrence, I think most people really thought he would just come in there and fix all the issues. He's going to come in there and essentially be week 11 Trevor Lawrence in 2022. They thought that version of Trevor Lawrence is going to be here week one of his rookie season. But it did not come that way. Trevor Lawrence struggled his rookie year a lot. And you know, his numbers weren't great. 59.6% completion percentage. He threw for 3,600 yards and had 12 touchdowns versus 17 interceptions. They were terrible numbers. He even had an 8-week stretch where he only threw for one touchdown pass. I mean, Trevor Lawrence last year was not good, but really, Trevor Lawrence at quarterback really was the least of our issues. There's a lot of stuff going on when it comes to like Urban Meyer, one of the worst head coaches in NFL history, probably the worst in NFL history. He was the head coach. There was a real lack of weapons, and just the offensive scheme was terrible. Just a terrible offense that the Jaguars ran, and it did not enable Trevor Lawrence for success, or really anybody on the offense for success. I mean, nobody really had a great year except for maybe like, okay, cool. Agnew looks like an offensive weapon. James, it just wasn't a lot. Nothing was really clicking last year. And then in 2022, a lot of stuff changed. You brought in Doug Peterson, former Super Bowl winner. It came with a scheme change. You brought in weapons, Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, Ingram, ETN came back. And Trevor Lawrence has an extra year of experience under his belt. So really, when it comes to Trevor Lawrence this year, he didn't start off great. He started off and he's had some good games, but he's had a lot of low games. And it's like, okay, like we like his highs, but we're getting his lows far too often. And I think a lot of Jaguar fans are getting really frustrated with that. I know for me, I tried to really preach patience. I tried to be, really fair at analyzing him. Even though in the deep back of my head, I always knew, look, this is going to be the guy. I mean, he's going to work out. I mean, he has all the tools. Just at some point, it's just going to click. And once it clicks, it's going to be really dangerous. And it feels like we're at that point now. Now, where it really turned around was when you look at week 8 versus the Broncos in London, he was really bad. He was really bad. 18 for 31 passing, 58% completion percentage, only 133 yards passing, one touchdown to two interceptions. One of them was a repeat of an interception he had earlier in the year where it was in the red zone. He was rolling out to the right and forced the issue when it didn't need to be forced. And after that one, it was like, man, like it was probably as low as I've ever been on Trevor Lawrence. It was not a fun game. He was just awful. And the Broncos were a team that the Jaguars, they should have no business losing to. The Broncos are bad. Let's be real. Week 9 against the Raiders was when a lot of stuff turned around. The Jaguars won 27-20. Trevor Lawrence had a tremendous game, 25 for 31 passing. That was an 81% completion percentage, 235 yards passing, one touchdown to zero interceptions. He was the best quarterback on the field that day. He was moving the offense, and he played his best football in the fourth quarter. The next week, the Jaguars traveled to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs, and the Jaguars took the L, lost 17-27. But it wasn't a Trevor Lawrence problem. It was more of a defense struggle. But at the end of the day, the Chiefs are just better than the Jaguars. The Chiefs are a legitimate Super Bowl contender. They're better at most every position unit than us. They're just in a better spot in their program than the Jaguars are. The Jaguars lost by 10, but they did not lose because of Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence was 29 for 40, 73% completion percentage, 259 yards passing, 2 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. So, we felt good about that one. And then going into the bye week, we said, we might have lost, but at least Trevor played well, because you're at the point in the season where, you have a lot more losses than wins, and you're trying to figure out, okay, what are we looking for as the season goes on? The number one thing is Trevor Lawrence. I mean, Trevor Lawrence playing good football is more important than winning at this point. I mean, let's be real. When it comes to the pecking order, number one is play at Trevor Lawrence. Number two is winning. That's just how it is. Now, week 12, last week against the Ravens, coming off of a bye week. Awesome game. The Jaguars won 28-27. Trevor Lawrence was outstanding. 29 for 37 passing, 78% completion percentage, 321 yards passing through the air, 3 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. And, it was tremendous. And the thing is, when Trevor Lawrence played good in week 9 against the Raiders, I said, great stuff, do it again. He played great in week 10. I said, okay, this is good, back-to-back weeks, but let's do it again. And then when you beat the Ravens the way you did, 3 games in a row, I'm not at the point now where I'm like, okay, Trevor, do it again. Now I'm at the point where I'm like, he's had 3 really good games in a row. He's 2-1 over that stretch. And most importantly, what he did was something that I have been on this channel for so long saying that I wanted. I've been wanting that come from behind victory. The game where, Trevor Lawrence puts the team on his back, drives all the way down his field, and scores a touchdown when we need it. And he not only scored a touchdown, he got the 2-point conversion too. This wasn't even a game where it's like, okay, drive down the field, you got to get to the 35-yard line, and then we can get a kick going. He had to drive the length of the field. What was it? 75-yard drive, 10 plays, 2 minutes left, 1 timeout. He had to drive the field, and he was making crazy good throws, just crazy good throws. Throws that, you can tell he's been watching film. You can tell that like he's throwing with anticipation, throwing to guys before they're even open, before they make their breaks, anticipating that they're getting open. I mean, what you're seeing from him is outstanding. Some of the main things I'm seeing, look, he is showing confidence in this scheme. The Jaguars, this is the first year of Doug Peterson's scheme. It took a little bit of getting used to, but I think what's exciting to me is that at the end of this year, we can go into year 2 of, next year in 2023 and know that we're playing in the same exact scheme. We haven't had that forever. We've been going from Hackett to DeFilippo to Jay Gruden to Darrell Bevel, all in like 1 year span. We're new scheme, learn it, get rid. New scheme, come in, get rid of it. That's been the Jaguars' offense so far. And this offseason was, when it comes to mini camps and OTAs, a lot of it's about, okay, this is your first time with the playbook. This is your first time running these plays. But now we can go in and, we don't have Trevor Lawrence trying to learn the scheme. You don't have your key players, Zay Jones, Christian Kirk, learning the playbook. Now you have them, just further into it. And the new guys we bring in, they can teach them the different things. It's really, really good. And I love this scheme. I question play calling a lot of times, but overall, I love the playbook. I love the scheme. And I like a lot of stuff about it. Some more things. The throwing with anticipation. I mean, take a look at that final drive. Take a look at the final drive of the game. And every single time Trevor Lawrence winds up to throw it, look at where the receiver is. A lot of times the receiver is being guarded. They haven't even made the break yet, and Trevor Lawrence is throwing right where they expect him to be. It's beautiful. It really is. And, it's just showing that it feels like he's really good in the film room when it comes to analyzing his own team and also noticing what the Ravens are doing. I mean, he was diagnosing the Ravens defense, understanding where the guys were going to be. And it's really cool. It's really cool. He's showing moxie. I know this isn't something that I was really beating home. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, he's soft. He's like low energy, all this stuff. And I never bought into that. I thought that was overblown, but it was out there. But he's showing confidence. He's out there, cheering. I heard Evan Ingram on a show with like Dan Higgin and Martineau basically saying that, you know, Evan Ingram said that he was talking to the Ravens sidelines, talking smack to him. It's cool, and he is the leader out there. And we saw the mic'd up of him against the Raiders. It's cool stuff. It's cool stuff seeing that. And also a big thing is accuracy. I mean, he's been extremely accurate these last few weeks, and we've seen him like that wheel route to Hasty he hit last week. We've seen him miss that. How about week 1 where he missed Travis Etienne on probably an easier pass, an easier wheel route? He missed him, and we've seen him miss those. We've seen him miss a lot of throws earlier on, but now he is starting to get the accuracy tight. That's another cool thing to see. And also decision making. I mean, during that game, he rolled out to the right, and I was having flashbacks to Houston. I was having flashbacks to the Broncos game where he forces the issue and throws the pick in the red zone. This time he rolled out, wasn't there. He threw it to the stands. This even small things like that are great to see, and it's awesome seeing this. And I really feel like Trevor Lawrence has arrived, because here's the thing: he's only going to get better. He's only going to get better. Like what he's doing right now, it's not just going to go away. He's not all of a sudden going to not know the offense. He's not all of a sudden going to be terrible at pocket presence. He is showing all the signs that what we expected him to be when we drafted him, and it's so much fun to watch. It's so much fun to watch. So the Jaguars have, I believe, 6 games left. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. If Trevor Lawrence keeps playing like this and the Jaguars keep, I mean, we're 2-1 in the last 3 weeks. If we keep finding out ways to win 2 games against the Titans, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So with all that said, let me know what you guys think about Trevor Lawrence. Are you guys excited? What do you guys think? And with all that said, thanks for watching. Go Jags.